Is my voice clear and is my screen can be seen clearly, Ferit Hocam?
I think clear, right? For everybody, right?
Correct.
And there's no, by the way, there is no problem with, you know, the screen. The screen is not vibrating or shaking, all right? Because somebody, I think, wrote and about that thing, but there's no problem, at least, you know, for me, I can
It's
say.
okay.
All right.
Okay. Okay. So I would like to welcome all the attendants, and it's a great pleasure for me to present this presentation. And my topic is implementing mind mapping as a teaching tool in distant English language teaching during COVID-19. And my presentation includes the effects of COVID-19 on education, of course, briefly, as my time is very limited. And I will be briefly mentioning what a mind map is, and I will be talking about mind mapping as a teaching tool in remote learning. And of course, I will be sharing my references and also my contact information. As we have all perfectly, being familiar to this reality of COVID-19, the world has faced with a radically shifting change due to COVID-19 in all aspects, and education is one of the main fields that has profoundly been affected by this pandemic. And worldwide policies have been applied to break the spread of COVID-19 by social distancing and lockdowns at all levels of society, including learning activities at all academic levels, which changed face-to-face learning into a remote one. Since the health crisis emerged, the well-being and motivation of students, parents, and teachers has intensely been affected. And during this pandemic, online instruction offers both advantages and disadvantages for teachers and students. And professors faced numerous challenges in e-learning due to a lack of online teaching experience and skepticism about the effectiveness of online assessment and evaluation, a lack of technical infrastructure in the home, as well as a lack of interaction and an inadequate and expensive internet connection. Nonetheless, online education has resulted in increased time and space flexibility, easy and rapid sharing of study material, quick feedback, and more freedom to connect with faculty, and reduce transportation and financial costs, and improve teachers and students' technological skills, and increase the convenience and comfort of learners. And this image shows how COVID-19 affected teachers teaching English as a foreign language teachers' journey during this pandemic. And as you can see, the result for the question above has been answered like this. The result for the question is this: open and close-ups affected teachers' motivation and resulted as 55.9% highly affected and 19.4% affected by the situation, and 12.9% responded as neutral. And 6.5% of the participants partly disagreed the argument, and only 5.4% of them strongly disagreed, according to my research. Yes, during the pandemic, many EFL teachers used some tools to make the online teaching process more effective and comfortable. Several online teaching platforms have been used as Zoom and Google Classroom, Schoology, Microsoft Teams, Edmodo, Google Meet, Skype, Moodle, and so on. And some of the online digital education tools used by EFL teachers, such as Canva, Google Jamboard, Kahoot, Quizlet, Socrative, Edmodo, Storyboard, ThinkLeak, TED-Ed, EduClipper, ClassDojo, MindMeister, XMind, Creately, and many more by English learners and teachers. And In my presentation, particularly mind mapping as an online teaching tool will be discussed. So let me explain briefly what a mind map is. It is actually a diagram for representing tasks, words, concepts, or items, and it is linked to and arranged around a central concept or subject using a nonlinear graphical layout. And it turns a long list of monotonous information into a colorful, memorable, and highly organized diagram. And it was first created by Tony Buzan, who completed his undergraduate degree in psychology, English, mathematics, and science. And not only on mind map, but memory techniques and on some familiar subjects. He has written over 100 best-selling books, and his books has been translated. They have been translated into 150 languages and read by millions of people worldwide. And so this is the example of a mind map about what a mind map is. It has been created by me. And what is a mind map? As you can see clearly, as in the example, there is a central idea and a central image. Not necessarily, but it will be a great idea if you just place a image right in the center of your topic or your item or whatever you would like to mention. And of course, we need not the whole sentences, not necessarily, but keywords, only one or two, preferably. And of course, we need colors. Why? Because brain likes colors, not black and whites. And of course, we need images. And the images provide associations, and associations help the brain to memorize much better. And of course, we can use many symbols. And it needs to be clockwise. And the reason we need to arrange this mind map clockwise, because the brain learns clockwise. That's why a clock is clockwise. And the brain does not like straight lines. It needs curves, just like the brain itself. So we can say the brain likes to see itself. And of course, we have the main branches, and also we can have the baby branches, and the shape of the branches can change. There are some box branches and cloud branches and so on. And of course, it's not only about the words. Also, we can add some videos and audios and so on, and other digital forms of information. We can place them in your mind map. And let's get more specific. As you can see, I have an example of one of my students. And while I was teaching and the fourth graders, and with the name of the unit, Fun with Science, you can see on the left side, there are some words, the targeted words that students are supposed to learn. And these are dull and linear word lists. And most of the time, they are taught from Turkish to English to Turkish, or from the target language into the native language, and the reverse. So this is not the way the brain likes to learn. And as you can see, the same topic right in the center of this image, the science. The student has the colors and branches drawn by himself and the images. A student is totally free to draw his own images. It does not have to be exactly related to the word. He or she can choose his own associations, and this personalization makes learning even much more effective. Here is another example of another unit for the fourth graders, and the name of the unit is Jobs. And you can see there is an example of the students, and they mostly like drawing them, drawing these images, and they also ask me to let them create mind maps. And during this pandemic, we usually practiced language through these mind maps. On the right side, there is a digital mind map, which I created related to this topic, including the sentences and the images and the colors and the curves and the branches. And as you can see, there's only a list of the targeted language and the vocabulary here. It is English to Turkish list, and you can see the difference between this dull linear word list and those images, this colorful vivid images. And this is another example of a mind map. And as you can see, this is about present perfect tense. And it includes, with the main branches, the different usages of present perfect tense and examples of the usages of present perfect tense, and images are directly related to the sentences, which makes learning even much more easier, and also lets students associate with these sentences and make them even more memorable. And it actually lets the information to place in the long-term memory. This is my last example of the mind maps. As you can see, again, it's about the order of adjectives, and there are some colorful words, the keywords, and also some examples of these words, and some related images, and from left to right, from right to left, which is clockwise. And before I will tell you the advantages and the challenges of this method, of this tool, mind mapping, this is an ordinary, list of the advantages and challenges. So just have a look at this list and tell me if it's attractive or if it appeals to your learning or your attention. And let me share my mind map exactly prepared out of this information. Yes. So the very same information in another tool, in another shape. So this mind map is about implementing mind mapping in English language teaching, including advantages and challenges. So let's go into details. What are the advantages of this technique, of this tool? It's absolutely a fun way of learning, no matter what age group is, what language level is. It's absolutely a fun way of learning, according to my students' reactions. And it boosts creativity because you can add many branches and you can use your own colors and images. That boosts creativity. And also, it's a great way to revise the information before the exams or at the end of the units. This method actually provides a great mean of revising the information, and students with learning difficulties such as dyslexia or high functioning autism find mind maps to be invaluable study aids. Actually, this is also subject to one of my academic research, which I'm including at the moment, and students like personalization of information. How about challenges? As I mentioned, a student can both use digital softwares, and also he or she can do it with as a handmade. So what are the challenges? Of course, it may not be suitable for very strong left brain oriented linear thinkers, and it may take time for to get used to this tool, and it needs discipline and practice until he or she gets used to using this tool. And some of the students may find it a little complicated, and they may prefer a linear way, and they can feel uneasy about it. Very rarely, but this may happen. And learning how to use a digital mind mapping may seem complicated to some students who are not very fond of the digital kind of learning. And some students may not be patient and focused enough, because of course mind map needs a focus, and also it develops focusing and concentration. And these are my references. And thank you so much for listening to me. I hope I'm not out of my time. And if any of the attendees have any questions, I welcome the questions, and they can contact me through these addresses. I have some blogs related to the topic and my research, and I also have a LinkedIn profile, which I use actively. Thank you so much.
So after Tuğba Kızılkan's presentation on mind mapping, now it's my turn again to invite our third speaker, Ali Şükrü Özbay. Ali Şükrü Özbay holds his BA in English Language and Literature from Ankara University and MA from Karadeniz Technical University, Applied Linguistics program, and PhD from English Language and Literature Department of Karadeniz Technical University. Her main areas of interest